Well, times are tough in this lockdown economy, obviously. And just a few days ago, I was looking to see if I could find some additional work online. So I thought, what the heck, I'll check with Antifa. So I typed in Antifa.com. I wanted to go to the Antifa website. You might want to try that for yourself right now, just for giggles. Just get a web browser open and type in Antifa.com. For those of you that are watching this on a computer but don't have a computer handy, if you do that, you will be immediately directed to Joe Biden for President website. It's too good to be true, so it is, guys. Undoubtedly, they're being trolled. But the fact that they're allowing themselves to be trolled like this, the fact that it's a Democrat being trolled by conservatives is crazy to begin with. But what ended up happening, guys, was that it, by accident, took me to the Biden-Harris official website. And I have to say, seriously now, in all honesty, this is just awful. It is just awful. Steve, when we talked about this on our backstage show, you had the singular pleasure of making me laugh by and then make me cry. So why don't we just kind of walk through that procedure? Right. As far as the making me laugh part goes, what happens if you go to DonaldTrump.com and you find yourself with a 404 error, the kind of thing where the page is missing?
Oh, when you go to DonaldTrump.com, yeah, just type in DonaldTrump.com and then a / and some nonsense. Just tap at the keyboard randomly and hit enter, and it'll take you to the 404, which is the page that comes up when you go to a page that doesn't exist.
It's epic.
It's a picture of Joe Biden at the lectern with his dumb stare, the one where he's trying to make out a word on the teleprompter, this one, the outlook. And the text says, "It appears you are as lost as me," with a little return to homepage button. It's classic stuff. And the thing is, the Trump campaign actually trolled Hillary Clinton in 2016 or 17 after she lost, with some lost pun and an angry looking Hillary Clinton on the 404 page. It was great stuff. I wish I had a screen cap of that.
Now, surely the Biden campaign, being Democrats and younger and hipper and all the rest, and we squirreled conservatives, surely the 404 page on JoeBiden.com is going to be far more hilarious than this.
Yeah, before I get to that, no. When Melissa and I decided to have both kids and we were picking out names, I had a job because I'm the family smartass, and my job was to think up every cruel possible nickname for all the different names that we were considering for both of our boys. And when we got to names that I couldn't figure out how to make fun of, that's when we knew we'd nailed in what to name our kids. And
you ended up going with Erasmus.
That's right. Zinfandel. Erasmus Zinfandel Creed. Anyway, every campaign needs a smart ass to do these things to prevent the trollery. You know, you buy Antifa.com so that the other guy doesn't and redirect the URL to your web page. Biden doesn't have this. His 404 page is, number one, he's wearing a mask, which is lame. Number two, he's saluting. And Joe Biden is not POTUS, and he's never served in the military. He's not undercover. He's not wearing a uniform. The man has no business saluting anybody, which just pisses me off. But then there's the text. It says, "We couldn't mask this error, but you should
the error."
Yourself.
I just now got the joke. They're talking about masking the error, but he's wearing a mask. Oh, these guys.
It's so awful. And then this is the best part. There's a link to go buy a mask. And was somebody going to let's leave that to Scott, because he's the one who found this. So I'm just going to leave alone what happens when you click on the buy a mask button. Let me just say, Bill, before you go to Scott, though, the Biden campaign is essentially rudderless because the man at the top can't make decisions. And there are a million decisions that have to be made in a campaign, but only a very few big ones that have to be made very often. And this campaign is going from we don't condemn the riots so we do condemn the riots, except we haven't gotten Kamala Harris on board with the condemning the riots yet because there's nobody in charge. Biden is just too frail these days to be the firm hand on his own campaign's rudder. And so the campaign kind of just drifts along depending on who is trying to be in charge on any given day. And that is a preview of what a Biden presidency would be like. Whoever was the last cabinet officer or policy czar to talk to him would be the guy effectively in charge of the White House until the next guy.
Oh, good. Scott, you go to the wrong page on Joe Biden. Turns out that pretty much every page on Joe Biden's a 404 error. But you are directed to a site where you can buy a mask, apparently?
Yeah, this is to benefit the Biden Victory Fund. And it's interesting because...
So hold on. So let me just make sure I just want to make sure this is adequately set up. So this is so that you can buy a mask in order to reduce the deadly presence of the COVID-19 virus.
Well, as I said, this is to benefit the Biden Victory Fund. And the interesting thing is that it is not the mask that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are actually wearing in several pictures on the website. They're just wearing plain black masks. This mask has the Biden-Harris logo on it. It's a black mask with white print and then some red bars where the E in Biden is. $20, not a bad deal for a mask, cheaper by the dozen. But interestingly, under the description, here's the whole description just says Biden.
I'm pre-laughing.
Biden-Harris graphic on black cotton polyester blend face mask. So that's the whole description. And then comes the small print. Please be advised, masks are not medical grade. Biden for president makes no representation or warranty that the mask will prevent infection or transmission of viruses or other infectious diseases. We are not medical experts. If you have questions regarding health or safety, please consult with the CDC and or qualified medical professionals. Purchase is a donation to the Biden
Happy Fun mask.
Fund. By the way,
it's made out of the cheapest available gauze from China.
It is actually
transmits only 98% of the particles that come out of your mouth.
Union printed and made in USA.
Oh, well, then, okay. If it's
union printed, in a mere 14 days. And so I'm trying to figure out what people are going to do with this, because what they're basically saying is don't wear this as a way to, restrict the spread of COVID-19. It's just a fashion accessory.
Is that an endorsement of union labor?
The first thing that happens is buy the mask, and the second thing that happens is this mask will not protect you in any way. It has not been certified by the...
Do not taunt Happy Fun Ball. Scott, I think I can wear the mask over my mask.
Bless you.
Scott, I had a question for you since you're our webmaster, and you're constantly updating the BillWhittle.com website, which you should all check out because there's some very interesting, cool discussions going on there. But Scott, you're a guy who's constantly updating our website. What did you think about the Biden, the latest? Because that's really where the hot stuff is on BillWhittle.com. The latest is where we put the most recent video. What has he got there at the Biden-Harris website?
So this was great because this is like a blog, and so you have to, in blogs, as Steve well knows, being a major contributor at Instapundit, you have to have headlines that catch people's attention. And I just want to read you the first deck of each of the first couple of headlines, okay? And these are sequential, that were published. It looks like they're putting out one a day. So it's actually a daily blog post. That's really very
one a day.
Yes. So one a day. And this is the first deck of each headline for the first several days. Statement by Vice President Joe Biden. Statement by Vice President Joe Biden. Statement by Joe Biden on the ODNI's decision to end election interference in briefings. Statement by Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Statement by Vice President Joe Biden. Statement by Vice President Joe Biden. Every headline says that. And I'm trying to imagine the reader
died inside.
The reader who is going, you know what? I think I will log on and see if there's any statements by Vice President Joe Biden today.
Or what is the Biden campaign doing out in the real world?
Yes.
What's going on with it? I want to see what's the latest. Where's the biggest rally? Well, there's a statement by Joe Biden, and there was one yesterday too, and the day before as well.
Yeah.
Folks, here's what I'm going to do. I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to do it anyway because this is, generally speaking, proprietary information. So when you click this video, just consider yourself having signed a non-disclosure agreement. But here's what we're going to do.
Are we going to be demonetized?
Yeah, undoubtedly. The Biden-Harris website has a little tiny video that plays. It's just kind of thing you'd see a lot of. Little video clips. There's about 7 or 8 of them. And the reason that I want an NDA on this is because I am now going to give you a master's class on how you tell stories with pictures and what a picture actually says to you subliminally. When you get a message subliminally, it means it comes in below your liminally. And it means that you're not going to be able to really know what it's saying. But I'm looking at this website and it is unspeakably awful. So even though this is like a little running video, We're just going to grab stills and we're going to put them up there for you. And I'm going to tell you what these pictures say to me subliminally, and the guys are going to play along. So we start off with this first video here. It's a Biden crowd at a rally, and I can say it's a crowd because I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people in it. 6 people in this crowd. There's nobody standing behind them. And here's something interesting that's going to be something you're going to see a lot of. It's a low angle. It's a low angle of a front row looking up at the sky. What does that mean? Well, the only reason you would do that was to hide the fact that there's nobody behind the front row. Because if you had a gigantic crowd of people, you'd want a high angle looking down so that you could show the enormous crowds of enthusiastic people. It's a bit strange. And by the way, these people look like they've just waited in line to see some minor celebrity and they ended up getting, Tila Tequila or something like that. There's not a whole lot of enthusiasm there. Let's go to the next one. So this one, now this person looks genuinely enthusiastic and excited. And my only concern about this particular picture is she is by herself. There's nobody around her. It looks like they found one person who was having an actual moment. The guy in the background's looking in the other direction. There's somebody in the other background. Looks like they're being attacked from something just off camera. But again, where is everybody? Now here's a picture of Joe Biden doing the big kind of handshake with a regular guy. And I have to tell you that the makeup on Biden on this one is just terrific. I mean, they didn't spare any expense. They got the guy who does Lennon in the Mona Lisa. They flew him in. He looks so lifelike in this picture. It's really astonishing. Let's move on. Here's a picture of Joe Biden, again, by himself in a drugstore, talking to somebody with his box of Metamucil, and I don't see a great deal of enthusiasm or crowd support here. Now, this next one's really telling. It's Joe Biden again. He's never shaking hands. He's always doing the kind of solid thing with a woman who appears to be Native American, and that's great. But take a look at this picture, folks. You're in a yellow room that is the color of mustard. I don't know what the room is, but it looks like maybe a decent sized like faculty lounge or something. And there's nobody there. It's empty. There's no one there. There's Biden. There's the cameraman. There's a guy in between them. And that's it. That's the rally. It's not working for me. Here's a picture of Joe. This is my favorite. Here's a picture of Joe Biden talking to construction workers. And again, he's all by himself. There's nobody in the background. And if you look at the expression on this woman's face in the red jacket, it's like, this is the booster. These are the people that they
she
went
looks
to
like
to
the old man in Up.
She's like, it's like, can you contain your enthusiasm for this candidate? Please, don't want you to have a heart attack. Here's a picture of somebody walking down a desolated field, talking to somebody who's not Joe Biden. While on the left, Boston Robotics has their latest version of the animatronic Joe Biden that seems to be managing level terrain fairly well. Here's a similar picture of Kamala Harris. I love this picture for many reasons. First of all, it looks like it's the first time Kamala Harris has ever been outdoors. Secondly, she's not looking at the farmer. She's looking past him, and she seems to be saying, if we were to blow that dam up over there, we could probably put this guy out of business as well. This is the only shot I actually thought had some soul and that I really liked. You get the general idea. But the final one is this weird shot of Kamala Harris going, like this. And Joe Biden is looking down. He's got that look that you would have if you're cornered by somebody after a speaking event and you don't want to hurt their feelings, but you just kind of wish they'd go away. So you don't really give them a whole lot of feedback. I'll just close by saying, as I saw this site, there's a picture. I think it'll probably be gone by the time you check it out. But it's a picture from the campaign, and it says Joe and Kamala. It's a picture of them. They just did a live interview, and it says a socially distanced conversation. And I understand social distancing and stuff, Joe, but if you're going to be talking to your vice presidential candidate, just because you don't want to spread the COVID-19 virus doesn't mean that she has to be in the next county. You could have her 6 feet away instead of 40 feet away. The whole thing is just aching bizarre. And to me, folks, this is an indication that this thing's just going to be a blowout.
They're not trying.
If you look at the two 404-page messages, I'm telling you, that's the 2020 election results right there. I've never seen such bad messaging, and I'm used to looking at Republican websites. The very, very bottom of the Joe Biden website, it says, this site is made possible by this, and this, and contains absolutely no malarkey. And the final thought I had on this was, whoever designed this website was saying, please, Joe, nobody's going to know what malarkey is. And he's saying, no, we got to get that malarkey in there somewhere. How are we going to get the kids otherwise? Anyway, that'll do it for this no malarkey edition of Right Angle, brought to you by the members at BillWhittle.com, who are just the bee's knees. And believe me, if you want to get on the trolley, then you need to go on to BillWhittle.com and sign up right away. I'm speechless. I'm not often speechless. This is almost one of those times.